Timo's place started as the only Argentinian steakhouse in the city. Their meats are cooked over a wood-fired grill and the dishes are meant to be shared. Pair your protein with wine or, better yet, one of their killer cocktails at Lolinda in San Francisco.
The perception of a steakhouse usually is a big man eating a big steak, right? We wanted it to be a female name in a steakhouse, which is maybe a little bit different. We like to think that it's a more fun and lively atmosphere. My name is Alejandro Morgan. I'm the chef and partner at Lolinda in San Francisco. I like our food to be very balanced. I like the acidity, I like sweetness, I like a little bit bitterness, I like saltiness. I kind of want your palate to be exhausted by the time you get out of here. Well, asado just means a barbecue or grill. You know, if you go to any family in Argentina, every Sunday, they still get together and do an asado. We always strive to have a really hot grill with a lot of marbled meat and just throwing it in with salt. And then serving with chimichurri, which, you know, can't really go wrong with that. When you say buen provecho, and if you really mean it, it just helps people really appreciate what they have in front of them, which to me is really important. If you're from out of town, what more perfect experience to go have a cocktail on the roof and look at the city, you know, when the sun's setting behind Twin Peaks. It creates this orange colors all over the buildings. And then you come downstairs to the cave of Lolinda, very more romantic, more sexy in a way. To me, that's a really nice combination, and we are very lucky to be able to have that.
Now, Timo, you grew up with Scandinavian food, right?
It's a little bit on the bland side
Don't tell all the people who eat
compared to
Scandinavian
what we're going
food.
to talk about in a minute.
I'm from the Midwest. I'm a meat lover.
Definitely a carnivore, yeah. And this restaurant, it's a meat lover's paradise. I mean, they have 10 cuts of meat there, everything from blood sausage all the way to a 72-ounce bone-on prime. The flavor just bursts in your mouth. Everything is fork tender, and the chimichurri sauce. I was a steak purist before I came here to this restaurant, and the chimichurri sauce changed my mind.
Yeah.
There's garlicky, parsley, olive oil, just heaven.
Yeah.
I usually go for the skirt steak or flank steak there. It's kind of one of the middle range price-wise, and I think it's a 16-ounce cut. It's perfect to share with somebody. It's that or it's the pork chop. It's the first time I've ever had a pork chop that wasn't cooked overdone. It was the most tender pork chop I've ever had.
What about your experience there?
Well, Timo, thank you so much for introducing us to Lolinda. We just loved this place. You walk in, it's in the heart of the Mission, beautiful setting. It's dark, it has wood-paneled walls, leather accents, really interesting lighting.
Great place for a date. Yeah.
Totally, and there's cows everywhere, so they kind of hit you over the head with that. But we loved almost everything that we ate there. We got the Octopus Appetizer, which was our waitress's highest recommendation, and we're completely blown away. I want to give a shout out to the guys who run that grill, because the char on that octopus was unbelievable. Beautifully charred, so tender, and they actually tossed it in a little bit of chili, so it had a nice little kick to it. It was really delicious.
I also want to thank Timo for introducing me to this place. Gorgeous. I started with a ceviche, actually. The ceviche melts in your mouth like no other ceviche I've ever had. It has a nice, pleasant flavor of citrus. And what really floored me was the corn fritter that they serve with it. It's an art that they can make
Put those
this
two
corn
things together.
Yeah, the corn fritter doesn't really have much flour, and it's held together, and it's crispy and sweet, and it was a great counterpart to the fish. And we also had the starter of the empanadas, and the empanadas were so tender and flaky. I got the pollo one, the chicken, and it was accented with raisins, which brought a pleasant sweetness, and some potato to give it a hearty flavor. I could have had probably 12 of those, just the empanadas alone.
Definitely. My husband lived in Buenos Aires, and we went there and had the empanadas, and he raved. He said these are just as good, if not better, than any empanadas I've ever had.
Nice to hear.
Yeah.
And what about meat, and more meat? Now, you maybe are not as much of a meat person.
No, but
Blanche,
I
you
was
said that.
transformed by this experience.
all
I'm
right.
serious. My mother came with me, and she grew up in Venezuela, and she got the skirt steak, and she almost cried because she said that she has never tasted meat smoked to that perfection until she came to this restaurant where it's perfectly charred on the outside and it's moist on the inside with that signature chimichurri sauce that you mentioned. And then I had the best trout I've ever had in my life. It was this beautiful pink color. It was also perfectly smoked like I've never had. And it was on this bed of buttery white beans that were accented with this chorizo. And the chorizo kind of had a consistency of flavor of bacon. So if you could imagine this like buttery bacon with the beans, it was the most perfect dish.
We did the 18-ounce ojo de bife or ribeye, and I have to say, we ordered about 12 dishes.
It is meant to share. It is meant to share.
It's meant to share.
Was it just two of you, or
There were 4 of us.
Oh, okay.
So we had the ojo de bife, the ribeye, and it's 18 ounces. It came out on a big wooden plank. It was beautifully presented. Because it was meant to share, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't pre-cut or that they didn't carve it tableside. It was a little awkward to cut it and share it between 4 people. We ordered it medium rare, and it came out definitely rare, but with everything else that we ate, it was so wonderful that I would go back in a heartbeat.
You can go upstairs and sit on the upper level. It's a great area to kind of people watch, and it's a little bit quieter up there. It gets a little noisy on the bottom.
It's a separate restaurant, really.
It's got a little smaller menu, a pared down menu, but it's rooftop dining. You can see the city. It's really a place if you want to just go hang out, have a few cocktails. They have chicharrones up there. You get them in like half pound, pound, or pound and a half. And then there's big slabs of fried chicharron, and they're, oh my God.
And the drinks are very fruit forward as opposed to maybe spirit forward as downstairs.
I had a lot to drink tonight. So we started with some cocktails at the bar. I had the Frig Slip cocktail, and it was wonderful.
I couldn't believe they had an arak cocktail, okay? Arak is like ouzo, and it's very powerful stuff. But the way they presented it with grapefruit and mint, it was almost like an arak mojito. And I love that creativity.
We did the cookies and milk,
Not
which
your
was
dad's.
unbelievable.
You get the spiked version or the
Oh yeah, you
not
could get it
version?
boozy.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You had a boozy?
Yeah, with bourbon. Oh yeah. The alfajores are the best I've had.
We got the churros.
Oh, did
you?
The churros,
Oh, okay.
they were hot. They were crispy. You could tell they had just come right out of the fryer. They were wonderful.
All right, well, this is your spot. Timo, wrap it up.
Very meat-centric, but it's a great place to bring friends, and it's tapas and share your plates.
And Blanche?
Definitely a San Francisco destination where they take smoky meats and fish to an art form, and the best alfajores I've ever had.
All right, and Ari?
It was authentic, richly flavored food in the heart of the Mission. Beautiful service, great atmosphere. Go back in a heartbeat.
All right, if you would like to try Lolinda, it's located on Mission Street at 21st in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-550-6970. It's open every night for dinner. Reservations are recommended, and the average dinner tab per person without drinks is around $45.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by IRG has in-trend surfaces, quieter marbles, and rare exotics. Over 10,000 slabs in stock today. IRG in Brisbane and Dublin and at marblecompany.com.
Mattress systems from European Sleepworks, working to improve comfort and wellness for over 40 years. At Adeline and Ashby in Berkeley. Online at sleepworks.com.
Oakland International Airport. Now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com.
Sutter Health CPMC, 7,000 employees, nurses, and physicians caring for their communities every day. Your city, your hospital. CPMC2020.org. La Tour Angèle Artisan Oils, French-inspired and handcrafted in Northern California. La Tour Angèle creates natural, healthy cooking oils that add new flavor to everyday dishes.
Support for KQED comes from Total Wine & More, offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More, now with 6 Bay Area locations.